What's up, y'all? You already know who this is. It's the dude, Intergalactic Brew, coming at you with another video. Um, just got finished watching UFC 126, and wow, what an event, man! You know, it was a fairly, I'd say, competitive event, to say the least. I'll say this: the three main events lived up to the bill. It was worth every penny, nickel, and dime with the three main events. That's what I call them, three main events. But some of the other matches were good too. You know, Miguel Torres. You know, he looked good. I was surprised that he didn't try to take um, Antonio Benuelos down. He just decided just to stand and jab his way to a unanimous decision victory. Good job, Miguel. Pretty impressive UFC debut. Pretty impressive. And I'm not being sarcastic either. I mean, I'm serious. Like, that was impressive. Seriously. Then we had Ellenberger. Ellenberger tonight, he kind of surprised me a little bit. I'm surprised that he didn't push the action like he usually would. Because Ellenberger is one of these guys that, that just goes balls to the wall in fights. Like, he fights at a relentless, pressurous pace. And for some reason, he didn't execute that tonight. I guess because he had a lot of respect for the grappling ability of Eduardo Rocha. So, yeah. But either way, he was able to get some takedowns. He was able to do some damage. He didn't do as much damage as I thought he would do, but he was able to do enough damage to win the fight. So congrats to Jake Ellenberger anyway. He probably won't get John Fitch, sadly, but he's improving. I think he needs to go back, and I just think he needs to work on his striking a little bit more. He needs to work on using footwork and circling and using angles and all that good stuff. And he needs to work on moving in and out, or if not moving in and out, striking at a fast pace. Because it seems like Ellenberger kind of waits for what the opponent is going to do. And I have a philosophy that I live by in fights, that when you're in a fight, you can't wait to hit somebody. And in this sport, there's no consequences. I mean, if you hit somebody, you're not going to get locked up. So therefore, if you're in a sport of fighting that has no consequences for hitting somebody, then you be the first to hit. That's why they always talk about, in striking, be first. But anyway, Jake Ellenberger is still one of my favorite fighters. I like him a lot. So hats off to you, Jake. Good job. Okay. Oh yeah, and just for the record, I did horrible in the three main events. I did horrible. Like, seriously. Just wanted to let y'all know that. But they kind of went, well, I'll say maybe two of the main events went how I thought they would. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I'll say one. Because the John Jones-Ryan Bader fight, I was expecting for John Jones to keep the fight standing, actually. But, I mean, the guy can wrestle. I mean, you just have to face that. You know, the guy has very good wrestling credentials. He may not have won, Division I titles, or he may never won Olympic gold, but he was a good enough wrestler to transition into MMA. You know, so I credit his wrestling ability, and I just thought that the reason why I picked Ryan Bader to win this fight, because I thought he was going to be the guy to take the fight to the ground. I thought that he was going to be the guy, being that, he was a fast dude. Bader's a fast dude himself. I'm thinking that he's going to try and shoot in on Jones and try to take Jones down and wear on him and ground and pound him, for most of the fight. That's what I thought he was going to eventually do, but, he ended up getting lured into a stand-up match, and eventually John Jones took him down. And I knew once John Jones had taken it, well, it wasn't too much of a striking fight, but when they did strike, and John Jones took him down, I had a feeling that, the fight was going to change, because, we've never really seen Ryan Bader on his back, and legend has it in MMA that wrestlers do not like to be on their backs. So, unfortunately, that's where Ryan Bader was. And then he got choked out in the second round. But I mean, hey, I said before I even picked the fight, I said, I'm going to be a fool for this, for picking John Jones. I mean, I said it on my last video. So, I'm really putting my foot deep in my mouth, But I knew I was a fool for picking against John Jones. I knew I should have. It was a stupid choice. But, I mean, hey, you never know. Nothing never beat a failure but a try. Just try something new, because I'm not a follower. I'm not a bandwagon jumper, so to speak. I don't stand, I don't stand on a certain side. I stand in the middle. I stand on my own. A lot of people want to choose sides. Like, me, I prefer to stay neutral. But I did pick Bader to win, but unfortunately he didn't. Guess he needs to work on his jiu-jitsu. Yep, that's probably what he needs to work on. And then we had Forrest Griffin and Rich Franklin. First of all, I'm going to say right here, right now, I was one of the biggest Forrest Griffin doubters. I was one of his biggest naysayers. But Forrest really impressed me tonight. And, who am I to say what is impressive and what is not? Because, I'm not a trainer. I'm not an MMA judge. I have nothing to do with the business of MMA, but as a fan, I was thoroughly impressed with Forrest Griffin's performance tonight. And I know when I send this video to my buddy Kurt, I know he's gonna gloat like all over this, but Forrest Griffin, he's back. He's back. I don't know, if he was ever. I don't. Well, not necessarily say he's back, but Forrest is starting to show, a more smarter, versatile style in his fighting. So that's good to see. He's using angles. He's using a lot more footwork. He's still applying those leg kicks, and he's actually developed a little bit of power in his hands. He kind of staggered Rich Franklin there with that overhand right, and then he did it again later in the fight. So Forrest is coming on. I'm actually proud of him. To tell you the truth, I never thought I'd hear myself saying that, but I'm actually proud of him because he's come a long way. Because I truly thought this guy was a joke. I thought his career was mediocre. But The way he fought tonight, you know, if he keeps that up, now if he can maintain that style, that smart, technical, you know, not overly risky style of fighting, then, you know, Forrest Griffin will be back as a top contender for the light heavyweight title. If not already now, you know. But I mean, you know, Rich, you know, it was, you know, when I looked at it, you know, sometimes I look at these fights, and sometimes, you know, I miss out on the smallest little details and stuff, because I get so caught up in the build up and in the spectacle of the fight that sometimes I just don't pay attention to the little things, you know, the little, you know, details, like I said. So, but you know, when I really thought about it, you know, when they were standing in the middle of the octagon, squaring off, I was like, man, this probably might be a bad matchup for Rich. Because, I mean, I said if Forrest Griffin got it to the ground, you know, he could win the fight. If only he got it to the ground. And that's what happened. He was able to get it to the ground. He was able to keep Rich there. He got Rich tired a little bit, I think. He was attempting submissions. So that's good to see. And, you know, he got a little piece of him on the standing up, too. So, you know, Forrest is he's become a new man as far as fighting is concerned. Now, if he could show more signs of this, I actually might become a Forrest Griffin fan. But, you know, I'm not going to get my hopes up, though. Because this is just, you know, his first fight in over a year. But from what I saw against Rich Franklin, you know, this, you know, that's the sign of a guy, you know, who can be a champion. Now that other guy, you know, a couple of years ago who fought Rampage, you know, I don't know who that guy was, but I like this dude I'm seeing here. So, just to let you know. Then the main event. Wow. Man. I know it was going to be like, you know, I know it was going to be a fan-favored fight, and, you know, I knew we were going to see something electric, but, wow, man. Never would I thought it would have ended that quick. Wow. Now, I just want to say something. I know I came on here a couple of days ago, and I made a video shooting on Anderson Silva and his antics and his attitude. Well, you know, I have to say, you know, Anderson is amazing. I mean, he is. He's amazing, man. He really is. You know, he was able to outsmart Vitor. And, you know, Vitor really made a huge mistake in that fight. There is no way he should have, you know, been that patient. I mean, you know, this is my thing. When you fight a guy like Anderson Silva, yes, you be patient, but once you see the gap, quote unquote, or the opening, that's when you go in for the kill. And that's what Vitor didn't do. Vitor didn't do what he said he was going to do. Vitor said he was going to push the action in that fight, and he didn't do it. But that's what happens when you play into Anderson Silva's type of fight. When you allow the fight to slow down, and you allow him to lull you to sleep, he's going to come in and explode and land a eye-popping strike like he did tonight. That front kick was amazing. That's Muay Thai 101. You know, Anderson Silva is a true Muay Thai master. I can pretty much say that, you know. I mean, he's still one of my favorite fighters, you know, don't get me wrong. You know, I just didn't like his attitude lately. That's all. He's still my guy. But anyway, it was a fantastic knockout, you know. Sorry for Vitor, you know, first knockout loss ever. But it's alright. We'll be back. Well, I'm glad y'all enjoyed the fights.